I'm raising the baby my sister abandoned, and now she wants him back. I, 26F, have been raising my nephew since he was 9 days old. My sister, 28F, gave birth and left him at the hospital. She didn't tell anyone she was in labor. She didn't even tell me the baby had been born. I got a call from CPS while I was at work. Confused, terrified, thinking something must have happened to her. They told me she had listed me as the emergency contact, and that no one else had responded. They asked if I could come get the baby. There was no plan. No one else had stepped forward. She had walked out and left him behind. And without thinking, without hesitation, I said yes. I didn't have a crib, a bottle, or even a car seat. I left work, picked up what I could afford on my way to the hospital, and by that night, I was holding a tiny 9-day-old infant in my arms with absolutely no idea what I was doing. He was small, vulnerable, and completely unaware of what was happening around him. He cried nonstop the first night. So did I. I wasn't ready. I wasn't even sure I wanted to be a mom someday, let alone right then. But I made a decision. I was going to love him. I was going to keep him safe, and I was going to show up every single day because someone had to. It's now been 15 months. I've been to every doctor's appointment, every sleepless night, every diaper blowout at 2 a.m. I stayed by his side when he had RSV and we ended up in the ER. I held him through the shakes and the wheezing, praying he'd be okay. I maxed out my credit cards to buy formula when prices skyrocketed. I cut back on everything, groceries, clothes, weekends out, just so he'd have what he needed. I switched to a remote job to be home more. I lost friends who didn't understand why I couldn't come out anymore or why I looked exhausted all the time. But none of it mattered, because I was raising him. And slowly, I became his safe place. He started calling me Mama. He runs to me when he's scared. He giggles when I walk into the room. He's not just my nephew. He's my son in every way that matters. Then, 3 weeks ago, my sister reached out. No apology, no explanation. Just, I want him back. She said she was in a better place now and that she was ready to be his mother. Like I was holding him temporarily, like he'd been waiting around for her return. I was stunned, angry, confused. I told her no, that he was happy, healthy, thriving, that he knew me, that taking him away from everything he's ever known would devastate him, and that if I had to fight this legally, I would. I didn't back down. And then the storm started. My mom called me screaming, not asking how we were doing, not asking why I made the choice I did. Just rage. She accused me of kidnapping my sister's child, told me I was tearing the family apart, that blood matters, that he's not mine. My aunt called and told me I was using the baby to fill a void in my life. She said I was being selfish, that I needed to let go. Suddenly, people who hadn't sent a single diaper or birthday card were coming out of the woodwork to tell me how wrong I was. But where were they when he had a fever of 103 and I didn't sleep for 2 days straight? Where were they when he needed vaccines and I sat in waiting rooms with a screaming baby? Where were they when I was crying on the floor because I didn't know how I'd pay rent and still keep the heat on? None of them came around. None of them helped. None of them cared until it was convenient. Until my sister decided she wanted him back, and they all rallied behind her, as if nothing had happened. I tried to hold it together, but the weight of it all finally crushed me last weekend. My mom showed up at my apartment uninvited, and we got into a screaming match. She told me I was delusional, that I was just the aunt, that I had no real say in what happens to him. She said if I truly loved him, I'd give him back to his real mom. I couldn't breathe after she left. I looked at him sleeping in his crib, peaceful, safe, and I broke. I felt like the ground had been ripped out from beneath me. So I packed a bag, strapped him into his car seat, and drove 5 hours to stay with my best friend. We're in her tiny guest room right now. The crib barely fits. The sound machine is on a kitchen chair. But it's quiet. It's safe. And I can think. I haven't told anyone where we are. I just needed to get away before I shattered completely. I'm scared. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what comes next. I've contacted a lawyer, and I'm starting to understand what my rights are as his guardian. It's not black and white. This isn't some neat custody battle. But I've raised him since he was 9 days old. He doesn't know her. He doesn't cry for her. He doesn't ask for her. I'm the one he reaches for when he's hurt, when he's tired, when he wants comfort. I've built a life around protecting him, and now I'm terrified someone is going to rip it all away because they share more DNA. I know I'm young. I know this isn't the life I planned, but I also know that I've given him a stable, loving home, and I will not let that be taken from him. He didn't ask to be born into this mess. He didn't choose any of it, but I can choose for him. I can choose to keep fighting, even when it feels like the entire world is against me, even if it means tearing the rest of my family apart. Because he is my family now, and I refuse to let him go. It's been a few weeks since I posted about raising my nephew after my sister abandoned him at birth. The support and messages I received were overwhelming. Thank you to everyone who reminded me that I'm not crazy or cruel for protecting a child I've raised since he was 9 days old. Unfortunately, things have only gotten harder. My sister has officially filed for custody. She submitted a petition claiming that she never gave up her parental rights. Technically true. She left him at the hospital but didn't terminate anything legally. And that I've been withholding her son from her while she's in recovery and seeking reunification. Recovery. That word nearly made me laugh when I read it. She ghosted him for 15 months. No calls, no visits, no support. But now she wants to act like she's spent every day fighting her way back to him. I hired a lawyer. He's good, he's thorough, but he warned me from the start. The court system often leans toward biological parents, especially if they can show they're stable and trying to make things right. And the fact that I never pursued formal adoption or legal guardianship right away, that's now being used against me. We went to the first hearing. I was shaking the whole time. My sister showed up with her hair done, a fresh outfit, and a printout of parenting classes she just started 2 weeks ago. She cried, said she missed her baby, that she had postpartum depression and made a mistake but was here now, ready to be a mother. Her lawyer painted me as the overattached aunt with no real claim. She's been playing house, he said, but the child's mother has returned. I wanted to scream. I submitted everything: photos, medical bills, records from CPS, testimonies from my pediatrician and daycare provider. I poured my heart into proving that I have been this child's mother in every way that counts. But still, the judge didn't give a final decision. Instead, he ruled for a temporary reunification plan, meaning my sister gets supervised visitation while the court evaluates both homes. Until then, I have temporary physical custody. But it's not permanent. And that terrifies me. I left the courtroom and sobbed in my car for 45 minutes. Since then, everything's been a blur. I've had to let my sister come visit once a week, supervised by a court-appointed social worker. The first time he cried the entire hour. He clung to me, wouldn't even look at her. It broke my heart. She just sat there awkwardly, unsure what to do. But afterward, she still called him my son and posted pictures like she was back in his life. I'm exhausted. My anxiety is through the roof. I've stopped sleeping again. I'm checking my phone constantly, terrified I'll get a message saying the court ruled in her favor. I've tried to keep it together for him, but I feel like I'm unraveling. Last night, after he finally went to sleep, I stared at his crib and wondered if it was the last time I'd get to tuck him in. I've never felt this kind of helplessness before. I'm doing everything I can, but the system doesn't care that I've been his entire world for 15 months. They just care about biology and forms. I'm scared I'm going to lose him. And I don't know how I'll survive if I do. So that's the update. I still have temporary custody. I'm still fighting. But the emotional cost is destroying me. I never asked to be in this position. I just said yes when a helpless baby needed someone. And now I'm terrified that yes won't be enough.